Was a 15-and-a-half-year-old girl destined to become a queen? Did a nobleman's fondness for tournaments lead to a king's downfall? And could a secret letter smuggled through a medieval tower rewrite history? Let's rewind to 1286, a chilly February morning in Geneville. Joan de Geneville, a girl barely past childhood, was born. 15-and-a-half years later, she'd marry Roger Mortimer, a man already steeped in courtly intrigue, but this wasn't a fairy-tale wedding. It was the prelude to a tangled web of power, betrayal, and a royal prison. The Mortimer family, a lineage of Welsh lords, had a knack for getting involved in the messy business of kings. Roger, a formidable warrior and shrewd politician, wasn't just any nobleman. He was the son of a respected scholar, suggesting a head for strategy alongside a heart for battle. His younger sisters, Beatrice and Maud, arrived a few years later, adding to the Mortimer clan's growing influence. 1300. A date etched in stone, a grim marker of an estate's demise. The Inquisition's post-mortem records, a bureaucratic nightmare, really declared the estate's end on a May 3rd. The details were meticulously documented, a chilling reminder of the political machinations swirling around the Mortimers. Now let's talk about books. Not just any books, mind you. We're talking about romances, carefully guarded by Joan in her Wigmore Abbey home. And then, in 1327, Roger himself received 4 similar volumes, suggesting a man who enjoyed a good story, or at least, a man who wanted his wife to. A court case in 1331 revealed a private letter shown to William de Ockley, a significant moment, a glimpse into Roger's world of secrets and influence. Edward III, the flamboyant king, was also a bookworm. He possessed French texts mirroring Roger's own collection. It's interesting to note that the king's son, Edward, could barely write, leaving only 2 words on a letter: Pater Sanct, Father Holy. A stark reminder that literacy didn't necessarily equate to knowledge or skill. Let's shift gears to 1306. A tournament, a distraction, a catalyst for disaster. Roger, fueled by a passion for jousting and a desire to escape the pressures of court, abandoned the royal army to compete alongside Piers Gaveston and other renowned knights. It was a bold move, a blatant disregard for royal authority, and a crucial step towards his downfall. Gaveston, a flamboyant and controversial figure, was a constant thorn in Edward III's side. He was a favorite of the king, a symbol of unchecked power and a magnet for resentment. The relationship between the two men was complex, a blend of loyalty, ambition, and mutual dependence. The court was a hive of activity, buzzing with whispers and plots. Roger's cousins, members of the de Fiennes family, were frequent visitors, adding to the social drama. But the true center of attention was Gaveston, a man who seemed to thrive on controversy. Meanwhile, in 1308, Joan and Roger embarked on a mission to reclaim her family's property in Ireland. They weren't alone. Margaret, Joan's sister, accompanied them, along with another French noblewoman, Joan Wake. Their arrival signaled a power play, a calculated move to assert their claims and challenge the existing order. The year 1313 saw Roger venturing to Gascony, a region steeped in history and intrigue. His family held lands there, a reminder of their ancestral ties and a strategic foothold in the south of France. Joan naturally was there too, ensuring the family's interests were protected. Now let's talk about seals. Roger, a man who valued his reputation and his authority, used a distinctive seal to authenticate his letters and documents. But the ability to write wasn't always a guarantee of skill or accuracy. Edward III's son, Edward, could write, but his hand was clumsy, producing only a few legible words. The year 1316 brought a clandestine operation, secret letters smuggled out of the Tower of London. Roger, imprisoned by Edward III, used his connections to communicate with monastic clergy, attempting to undermine the king's authority and rally support for his cause. Back in 1301 to 1307, Roger served as Justiciar of Wales, a position of immense responsibility and authority. He juggled his duties with the demands of court, navigating the treacherous currents of royal politics. Let's rewind to 1306, the year of the tournament. Roger's desertion alongside Gaveston and other prominent knights was a direct challenge to Edward III's authority. It was a calculated risk, a desperate attempt to regain control of his destiny. The records are surprisingly detailed, filled with references to land transactions, appointments, and legal proceedings. These documents paint a picture of a complex and dynamic society where power was constantly shifting and alliances were constantly being forged and broken. The year 1303 saw Roger's son, Edmund, already establishing his own identity. He used his own seal, a symbol of his growing authority and independence. Joan's ancestors, the Counts of the March in Gascony, had a tradition of coming of age at 14, a testament to the family's long history and established status. Let's delve into the details of Roger's appointments. He was named seneschal, a position of considerable influence in Gascony, a region of strategic importance. However, the appointment was tentative, subject to the king's approval. The year 1307 saw Roger's uncle, Guy de Lusignan, Count of La Marque, dying without heirs. This event dramatically altered the landscape of Gascon politics, paving the way for Joan's mother to inherit the valuable lands around Cowes. The year 1314, Bannockburn. A Scottish battlefield, a clash of titans, a turning point in British history. Roger Mortimer, a seasoned warrior and a loyal servant of Edward III, found himself embroiled in a desperate struggle for survival. The details are murky, shrouded in conflicting accounts and incomplete records. But the evidence suggests that Roger was present at the battle, fighting alongside the king's forces. His capture, a devastating blow to the English army, marked the beginning of the end for the Mortimer family. The aftermath of Bannockburn was brutal. Roger was imprisoned in Kells, a remote Irish monastery, where he languished for the rest of his life. His fate was sealed, his legacy tarnished by betrayal and political intrigue. Edward III, desperate to secure his position, sought the assistance of Aymer de Valence, the Earl of Pembroke. The agreement, known as the Boulogne Agreement, was a complex and ultimately unsuccessful attempt to forge an alliance with France. The year 1308 brought a pardon for murder, a temporary reprieve for one of Edward's associates. The king's willingness to grant such pardons highlighted the corruption and instability of the royal court. Bishop Walter Reynolds, a key figure in Edward's inner circle, worked closely with Gaveston, a testament to the king's disregard for traditional authority. Thomas of Lancaster, a powerful nobleman, amassed considerable wealth through his earldoms. His disposable income dwarfed that of Roger Mortimer, a stark reminder of the vast disparities in wealth and power. The year 1311 saw the appointment of Hugh Despencer, a young and ambitious nobleman, as the king's second great favorite. The rise of Despencer marked a shift in the balance of power at court. In 1309, Roger's associates were granted a pardon for their crimes in Ireland. This pardon reflected the king's desire to maintain control of the country and suppress any potential rebellion. The year 1317 saw Roger launch another campaign against Geoffrey O'Farrell, a defiant Irish chieftain. His efforts to assert English authority in Ireland were met with fierce resistance. The year 1314 saw the death of Gilbert de Clare, a key ally of Edward III, at the Battle of Bannockburn. His death weakened the English army and contributed to the defeat. The year 1315 saw the Bruce invasion of England, a desperate attempt to reclaim his throne. Roger Mortimer played a crucial role in repelling the invasion, demonstrating his military skills and strategic acumen. The year 1317 saw Roger's son, Edmund, murdered in his sleep. His death was a tragic loss for the Mortimer family and a further blow to their fortunes. The year 1318 saw the death of Hugh Despencer, the king's second great favorite, executed for treason. His death marked a turning point in Edward III's reign. The year 1319 saw the death of Roger Mortimer, the last of the great Mortimers, imprisoned in Kells until his death. His fate was a testament to the ruthless nature of medieval politics. So there you have it, a whirlwind tour through the life of a man caught in the crosscurrents of power, ambition, and betrayal. A 15-and-a-half-year-old girl's destiny intertwined with a nobleman's downfall. Was it a tragic love story, a cautionary tale, or simply the inevitable consequence of a world ruled by ruthless ambition?